welcome to the greenhouse. So, let's see. Today, I just decided to come out. It's beautiful weather. It's about 52 outside, feels like 57. Inside, it is 84. It's beautiful. And you can see behind me, I have the door cracked a little bit because it's actually a little bit too warm in here. So that's nice. So I came out and yesterday I came out and I uncovered my seeds. Some of you may know I planted some seeds early, and I knew that I was planting them very early. And as I've said before, this is all just a big experiment for me. So that was, it was going to be what it was going to be. So I planted some seeds, and most of them hadn't even had a chance to start sprouting yet when we had this giant snowstorm. So anyway, I came out and I covered them and insulated them the best I could, and my soil seemed to be staying at a pretty decent temperature. So we'll see what happens, since they may all have frozen out and not do anything, or it may just be that they hadn't started doing anything yet, so they might. So we'll see what happens. So I watered them and did all of that yesterday. I came out and I turned the compost pile. The very center of it is kind of frozen, so I didn't get to turn the whole thing very well, but that's okay. I added more to it. I have a compost bucket that I keep by my back door of the house, and then so I brought that out and dumped that in there and mixed that in. So anyway, that's what I've done today. The other thing that I wanted to kind of talk about today, so we've talked about, in the Facebook group, we've been talking about, everybody's getting excited about planting their seeds and getting things going, and it's so hard to wait. So I was looking at the weather app. I use AccuWeather so when I check the temperatures and stuff, and you can look, and I'm sure you can probably do this on other apps too, but so you can look at the month outlook, and of course we know, especially here in the middle of Illinois, that weather is forever changing, so it doesn't really matter what it says today. Next week is going to be completely different than what you think. But I kind of looked at the overview for the next month and a half, actually, I think is what I could see out, and there's a couple of days that kind of get into the upper 20s, lower 30s, so that's exciting because that means, there's a chance for frost outside of here, but it looks like if everything is working well in the greenhouse and the buckets are helping keep things insulated a little bit and stuff like that, we might be able to start kind of pushing that, getting some more things planted pretty soon. So I'm getting excited about that too. So anyway, I wanted to talk about some of the things that I do out here just from my own, because I'm approaching this as a learning adventure. By the way, the temperature is now up to 90 degrees. That's crazy. It just like up. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about some of the things that I'm doing just to kind of track how things are going, and so that because it's a learning experience, that when I go into the next year and the year after that I'll be able to look back and see kind of where I started from and say, oh, look, I did this and then that was horrible, or I did this and that worked, so let's try that again, and whatever. So I have two journals out here that I keep. One is an actual journal that I write like notes about, how I'm feeling and how things are going and what's going on in the world, and things like that. And then I usually end every entry with a little prayer for the things that are happening. And I keep that journal out here because in the middle of this winter, in the middle of this pandemic, in the middle of all this new normal, this is my happy place. And so I come here to just kind of collect myself and collect my thoughts, and so I keep a journal out here because this is a very important place for me to come and reflect. And when I'm not making a video for you guys, I'm actually usually listening to worship music out here. So it's kind of like my church away from church, I guess. So anyway, that's important to me, to be able to come out here and sit and just reflect and take that time to be quiet with myself. So and the other thing that I have out here is I have this box that I got off of Amazon. Anyway, so it's got a little latch. You could lock it if you wanted to, but there's nothing to lock up in there. and it opens like this. And I have seeds in there, and I also purchased some seed envelopes so that, you know, as this little experiment goes forward, if I want to save some seeds or if I need them for anything, I've got them. There's pens in here. I have some flower seeds that my friend gave me so I can grow them when it gets a little bit warmer. I'm going to plant them. I'm excited about that. And then the other thing that I have in here, I have Sharpies so I can label my seed labels when I plant things. And the other thing I have is this little black book. And so in this little black book, whenever I plant something, I put the date, what I planted, and what type of thing I planted it in. So, you know, some of my things I have planted in just regular pots, and some of them I planted in milk jugs. So, you know, I just label, you know, where did I plant them and when did I plant them and like that. And then whenever I come out here, I also keep a log of the date, the weather. So, you know, if it was sunny, if it was cloudy, if it was snowy, I put the outside temperature and the inside temperature. So I know what it was like, what was happening outside, and what difference the greenhouse was really making for my plants. If I think of it, and occasionally I have also taken the temperature of the soil just to see what the soil is in my containers that I have in here. So again, it's all just a matter of collecting information because I'm looking at it as a learning process. So I'll be able to tell, you know, if I made this change to how I covered them or how I surrounded them or something, what difference did that make in the outcomes for the soil. So I think that, you know, for me, that's really important because I want to be able to look back on it and say, oh, hey, look, you know, this really worked well, or that didn't work so well. So anyway, that's what I do. So I come out here, water the plants, check them out, you know, listen to some music, pray over everything because nothing grows without God. And so that's where I am. And so that's what I'm doing today. So I'm gonna go and do some things out in the yard, and I may videotape some of that too. But I just wanted to check in and say hello and say, listen, it's getting warmer, and even the outlook looks really good for the next month and a half. So get excited. Let's get it going. What do you want to grow? What kind of things are you looking forward to planting in your gardens or your beds? All right, I'll see you soon. Bye. The temperature is climbing. It is 55 degrees outside. It is 92 inside. And look, you can watch it climbing. That's crazy. I'm very excited about that. All right, let's see. So we watered all of the plants today. So these are some things that I planted in containers inside the greenhouse. We'll see what happens. They may have frozen out. Nothing may bloom, or grow, but we'll see. And then I have these containers that I set up as wicking containers. So there is water underneath them that will hopefully suck up into them. It looks like it's working pretty well because the water was definitely higher underneath there. So that's exciting. They look like hopefully they'll stay wet enough that way to grow. Oh, my neighbors are being loud. All right, I'm gonna stop for a second. So I planted some things in milk containers, and so these are sweet peppers. And so you cut them in half, and then put the soil in, put the seeds in, tape them shut again. I just used some tape that I had left over from insulating the edges of the panels on the greenhouse. So it's actually like HVAC tape or something, but I had a ton of it, so I just used that. And so let's see, I don't think you can probably see, there's nothing really happening in there right now. I did have some peas starting to sprout in the other one. I don't actually seal the lids on there. The lady said you can just take them off, but I was kind of trying to help keep it warm in there, but let's see. So I had some peas that were starting to sprout, and they, I'm certain, have frozen. So I'll probably have to start these over again. But anyway, here's kind of what's going on. So we will see. They have stayed moist, which is, you can still see that there is moisture on the inside of them. So that does good. And I set them over here closer to the corner so that all the sun will get to them, because when the sun first comes up in the morning, it doesn't do so great in some parts of the greenhouse. All right, let's go look around outside. So I've told you before, I have this collection barrel, and I intend to run, oh my goodness, it is very muddy. Hold on, I'll show you. So I took a step and my foot kind of sunk into the mud. So anyway, on the Harbor Freight Greenhouse Facebook page, there's a guy who 3D prints adapters for the end of the gutter, and then it has the hose that comes down from it so that you can collect rain from your gutter into the rain barrel. So I have actually purchased that, and I intend to connect it. I just haven't yet because it's all been frozen. So anyway, I'm going to come out here in a little while, and let's see if we can get close enough without sinking in the mud too far. Let's see, how much water do we have just from catching some snow? Oh, hey, that's not too bad, actually. That's pretty good. Let's see, can you tell? Yeah, not too bad. So there's a little bit of water in the bottom of there. So, and that's just from collecting the snow this last couple of weeks. So that's pretty good. So I intend to come out and actually put some more water in it, kind of fill it up at least halfway just to kind of give it a start, and then use that whenever I'm watering the flowers and everything. But the kids' sand and water table, I've already kind of showed you guys this, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. Oh my word, the mud back here is fabulous. So here are the kids' little seeds. They're still doing what they're doing over there, growing, I suppose. So I need to come and work on this area, kind of find storage for my hose. And then behind here, I want to plant a bunch of flowers, just like wildflower kind of stuff. And then I want to put a raised bed out here too. So these are the things that I'm working on. I know some of you have talked about garden planning. I am not really going to have a full-on garden out here right now anyway, because honestly, I'm the only one who eats the vegetables. So growing a few of everything will be sufficient for me, especially for right now while I'm just figuring it all out. So I do want to put a couple of raised beds out here, and I've discovered that I would really like to have something that's kind of a path to the greenhouse, because my yard is just a big mud pit. So, and as you can see, this side of the yard is very shaded from my neighbor's lovely fence. So anyway, I can't grow a lot there probably, but I want to put something kind of in this area for the kids to be able to come out. And so, maybe I'll do some shady vegetables there and some sunny vegetables kind of out here, and we'll go from there. So Brian would prefer to not have to mow around too many things. So maybe we can work that out. All right. This is my compost pile, and while I started it in the fall, so it hasn't really gotten to do a lot, but I mean like late fall, like end of November. But I want to show you, it's about half the size that it was when I started, because the leaves used to come out all the way to here, and they were full all the way up to the top. So it really has shrunk a lot, and I've added stuff to it all winter long. So, that's kind of exciting, and we'll see. The plan is that if I can get it heating well, there's actually, I don't think you can see it, there is black pipe underneath here, like drain pipe that's got holes in it and stuff. So it's flexible drain pipe. So there's black flexible drain pipe under it, and the goal is to get this heating so that I can vent a fan to blow air underneath, to heat air to help keep it heated in longer into the season. So I don't have electricity in my greenhouse. I've told you that before. So my plan is to use the compost pile to help heat the greenhouse. That's my plan. I don't know if that will work. Again, this is all just a big giant experiment for me. So we'll see what happens. If you have any suggestions or clues or additional advice regarding that, I am always open to suggestions. All right, so this is my little space, and we will see what happens with growing and planting and all of that. This is my favorite tree. I'm going to show you this. My husband says, we got to cut that thing down. I have been in love with this tree since we bought the house. It's the perfect place for a tree house, but he won't let me put one there. Look, that is the perfect tree for a tree house. Tell me you agree. We all need to get him to help us put a platform in there. All right, talk to you later. Yep, still getting warmer.